All right, today we're going to make my homemade spaghetti sauce. I'm making a big batch of it, so we're going to start with 2 pounds of ground beef raised by Rocky Knob Farm and prepared at A.W. Meat House. It's just plain ground beef. It's a great 80-20 blend. Okay, I've got the ground beef in there. I've got the oven on, or pardon me, stovetop on about medium-high heat because this has got a brown. I haven't seasoned it or anything yet. I'm just breaking it up with my little handy-dandy Pampered Chef tool. But they sell it on Amazon and other places. This one just never scratches my pots. To this, I'm going to add about a little bit of beef broth. Maybe quarter to a half a cup. Most of it's going to cook out. I do this because it helps me break the meat up into a finer grind so it's not big chunks. Okay, while that is warming up to brown, I'm going to go ahead and season it with about 2 teaspoons of salt. Remember, this is 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, good bit of black pepper, food needs seasoning. We're going to add in garlic powder, a good teaspoon of that, at least. I'm going to season this again, and we're going to add in onion powder. And once this starts to brown, I'm going to add in the onions and tomato paste. But I'm going to let this get a good brown going to where it's at least half of the meat is browned. Okay, our ground beef finished draining. I did drain the grease off. It's an 80-20. It gives it lots of flavor. There's still a little oil in there, but I didn't want all that fat in my spaghetti sauce. I'm adding in a small chopped onion that I had in the freezer. Okay, and I'm also putting in a tablespoon of tomato paste. Whenever I open a can of tomato paste, I just put the rest of it in a little snack-size Ziploc, stick it in my freezer, just take it out as I need it. It's great. It works perfectly. But we're going to start layering our flavoring, our seasonings in here. We're going to put a little more onion powder because remember, part of it drained off when I drained that fat, but you need that to season the meat, so don't skip that step. A little bit of garlic powder. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of Italian herbs, maybe a tablespoon and a half. If you want more, that's fine. And a little extra oregano, probably a teaspoon of that. I just really like the oregano in it. I'm also going to put in minced garlic. It's out of focus a little bit, I'm sorry. But it's about a teaspoon and a half of minced garlic. I know you've got powdered garlic in there, but you need it. Let this cook down for a few minutes and let that tomato sauce coat everything. And the last thing I'm going to do before I add my sauce to it is I'm going to add in about a half a cup of red wine. If you want to use beef broth, you can do that. But I had this already in the fridge. I use it just for cooking in this instance. And it just gives it a nice depth of flavor. So go ahead and let that start cooking around. And I can't tell you how good it smells in here already. Okay, we're letting that cook down with the tomato paste. But I'm going to taste this. I tell you time and time and time again, taste your meat. Taste your food. It's good, but it definitely needs some salt. And I'm going to put down, except for salt, I'm going to stir this around, taste it again. And I will relayer flavor when I put my sauce in there. My tomato sauce. Layer each, or make sure you taste and season each layer of flavor. If you lay down veg, season it. If you lay down meat, season it. The next one and the next one, you're building flavor. That's what gives you really great taste in the end. If you try to add it in all at the end or all at the beginning and hope that it's enough, it won't be. Your dish is going to either fall flat or be too strong at the end and not it'll have a sharp taste rather than a nice mellow but flavorful taste. Okay, I've tasted it. I re-seasoned it with a little bit more Italian seasoning and even a tiny pinch more salt. Keep tasting it, tasting it, tasting it. I am ready to put our tomato sauce in here. Now, some of you will snub your nose at me. That's fine. You use whatever sauce you want. I take help from a jar sauce. I use the Ragu Chunky. In this case, I'm using tomato, garlic, and onion. I usually use the garden style. They didn't have it, but it's fine. It's a nice base. It's a great value as far as rather than getting cans of tomato sauce, plain tomato sauce for me, and that's red wine and a little beef broth in there you see cooking out. But rather than trying to make up all the flavor difference with this, I put this in, I readjust my seasoning for our taste, and then I let it cook down for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 jars. These are 2 4.1 pound or 1. I don't know how many ounces it is. It's the great big jar. I'm going to probably put 2 of them in if they'll fit in my pot. Okay, I ended up using 1 jar. I don't know what I was thinking, but these are the ginormous jars. I mean, seriously, they weigh 4 pounds. So I ended up using 1 jar. You can see how nice and meaty it is. My ground beef got really fine because we used our little chopper thing and, you know, put a little bit of that liquid in the beginning. You could use water in the beginning if you want, but you will get no flavor from it. So it's only a 1/4 cup of beef stock, and it cooks out and gives your meat flavor. But anyway, I've got everything in here. I'm going to bring it up to temperature, meaning a low simmer or boil. I'm going to wait till it gets warm, the sauce I just added. When it gets warm, I'm going to taste my seasoning again and adjust it. And at that point, once I get my seasoning adjusted to where I want, I'm going to let it cook down for at least an hour on the lowest temp setting there is. With the lid on, you will have spaghetti sauce everywhere if you take the lid off. Just saying, that's the voice of experience. Okay, I adjusted my seasoning again. You do it according to your taste. If it's too sweet, you can add in a capful of vinegar. Yes, I said vinegar. 1 capful at a time. And taste it after each one. If it's not sweet enough, add in half a teaspoon of sugar, a half a teaspoon at a time. If your tomato sauce is really acidic, you have to taste it and see where you are. If it needs salt now, it will not get better without salt. Make sure it has plenty of flavor. So I added in additional Italian herbs, a little black pepper, and a little bit more oregano. It had plenty of garlic and onion. I could taste all that. And I got the salt level where I want it. So now we're going to let it cook on low with the lid on for at least 45 minutes to an hour. And after that, I'll take the lid off, see where it is. If I want it thicker, I'll take the lid off and kind of keep an eye on it and let it cook down a little bit more. But we'll see. We'll check it in an hour. We'll be back. All right, there's our beautiful sauce. It has cooked down for about an hour. It's thick. It's luscious. I'm going to cook some pasta, and we like angel hair. I know it's not traditional. People use spaghetti, but it's what we like. So we're going to have that over some angel hair and some garlic bread twists and a salad. And I hope you all really enjoy it.